Bentar, sabar.
Bapak ada Moza di Ayomi nih kok, cewek mau Moza mah.
Yuk, yang jungle siapa yuk?
Lu pakai Fanny tuh gambarnya.
Enggak, aku udah lama nggak main Fanny.
Kalah. Fanny lah.
Aku selalu hit.
Enggak.
Lihat tuh MMR
Kolektor amatir 1. Kolektor ahli.
Buka apa? Gua reset sumbatannya dari 1 jam deh.
They're very happy with the setup at McLaren. I barely saw any changes to the car going into this qualifying session. Just polish it.
Wah, dia mid lane tuh main apa anjir? Itu cewek mid lane.
That is good news, Ted, because that's in contrast to the session itself. Because
Rebutannya kan rebutan.
Ram siapa Bang Moza?
They had to get through quite a program.
Gua apa ya?
A new rear wing as well.
Ya udah full mage aja sekalian.
Gua XP dah.
Full mage aja Za, sekalian Za. Gimana Za?
Jangan dong.
Jangan anjing kan.
Ini musuhnya apa ya kira-kira Epic? Kalau Epic tahu PT ini. Oh enggak, Mythic. Yang Mythic tadi siapa?
Ah, rame nih.
Sistem
Juga nih.
Pak, ini kenapa? Astaga.
Gatot.
Ini jungler apa nih?
Nggak tahu. Jangan bisa saya ngeliat kan?
If you're looking out for Kevin Magnussen, well, send him your best wishes. He's not taking part in this. He's not feeling well enough. He's gone back to his hotel. So Ollie Behrman will qualify.
Dihajar tuh Fanny.
Hasil juga mendung juga nih. Mendung juga bro, hujan juga kan.
Fanny-nya pede menang nih.
Ini midlane siapa, Cok?
A lot of drivers out on the track, not Ollie Behrman or his teammate Nico Hulkenberg.
Gimana sih anjir? Pusing gua.
So looking at the lap times
Yeah,
of Charles
well,
Leclerc,
yeah,
Carlos
Ram.
Sainz on our screen, and in fact looking at Leclerc
Ram
coming
siapa
through
nih?
shoots out
Gua Ram
there,
nih.
climbing steeply uphill to the timing
Ya
line.
Moza aja Moza.
The
Kenapa ini
Ferraris
dark
are the
juga?
ones with form
Yeah.
trophy on there coming into this weekend. 2 wins back to back in Austin and Mexico. Carlos took
Ya Allah, live gua kena ban kok.
in the last time we were
Kenapa sih anjir?
qualifying in Mexico as well.
Evan, lu
But
main
we'll see.
apa, Evan?
Kok bisa, Cok?
Ikut aja.
24 jam gua kena ban.
Kok bisa?
Gara-gara yang terakhir tadi, Cok.
Aku midlane.
Mid udah ada.
Bentar.
XP.
Oh ya udah.
XP.
Oh, Mojar wah. Orang disuruh apa?
George there wide of the apex was struggling with the rear of the car to get in the nose in and miss the line there. I don't know if he got a bit of turbulent air from it looked like one of.
Gue baru inget, Cok, sprint quali pada pakai medium dulu ya. Gue tadi waktu di mana? Ya, saya langsung pakai soft anjir.
Ya kan kita short Pak. Kalau mereka kan ada Q1, Q2, Q3.
Ya juga.
Jadi menang kan nih, jadi menang nggak?
Itu udah ngaku dark dia.
Itu Yujong itu.
Pakai apa ya?
Was George Russell's 1:10.3. So we're a long way off that at the moment, and it's Sergio Perez, who was 19th fastest only in
Tracknya 41 anjir, panas banget. Gila.
Who has a time of a 1:11.1 on the board, and Alex Albon has just gone a little better than that.
Oh, Paulus panas itu kan?
Diganti Berman dah.
And now we're into the 1:10.
Ini sekarang lotnya 3.
Iya, si siapa maksudnya diganti Berman. Kayak sekarang
ya.
Lordnya the allied lord summon 3 stars misalnya 2 5 set.
They've only got one set of tires to use, so there's not a lot. The teams
Tiga,
can do to help
satu
the
Lord.
drivers out there.
Tiga
Russell
tuh katanya.
complaining about the brakes, but it was still
Bentar,
good enough
kenapa
to
itu diganti jadi
be
Berman?
about a tenth ahead
Emang
of Lewis
jadi
Hamilton.
Berman, Pak.
Their score, by the way, qualifying this
Hah?
year,
Kenapa?
Russell and
Maksudnya?
Hamilton, 18.6.
Oh nggak tahu kenapanya nggak tahu.
Russell comprehensively
Tingkatannya
in front,
Kevin Magnussen
but in
apa?
terms of time, about a tenth and a half between them.
And of course they were
Nah,
tied
itu
for the
nggak
Grand
tahu.
Prix qualifying last year. We were just
Norris
riding on board
110.
Lando Norris as he goes quickest
Berapa
overall.
lagi?
You get a real good indication of the bumps
Lausan
on this
anjing,
track
110.
when we go with the helmet cap. That looks severely bumpy. And it's not
Yo,
just
pede,
the
pede,
pain
yo.
and the feeling
Pede
like you've
menang
been in
kan
the
nih?
mosh pit for the last
Enggak.
15
Bang
minutes.
Muzar, ram.
It's the vision that gets a bit
Belum.
blurred
Sini,
as well
Zak.
for the drivers.
Si
Picking out
Pojak
the
itu
braking
kayak XB
points
berdua anjing.
and
Bang
where the
Muzar.
lines
Oh.
to be
Bawa,
becomes
bawa.
increasingly
Ram.
difficult.
Aku roam
Crosses
anjing.
the line. 3/10 between
Beli
himself and
item
Liam
rom
Lawson.
dulu.
That's a strong
Malah
lap.
Parsha yang
10-2
beli.
there for Piastri. So we've got an Aussie currently on top of the times, a Kiwi.
Goblok tadi Parsyanya roam goblok.
Nico Hulkenberg, a tremendous lap there.
Enggak, udah lo beli rom aja. Beli rom aja.
Ya, aman.
Not as quick as he would have liked in the first sector.
Hati-hati ya itu
But
jalur
Max Verstappen
balkonnya
roughly
di
10th and a half down in the first 2/3 of the lap so far.
Sabar, Vel.
Taste of sprint in Formula One, but he's won 2 sprint races in F2, the junior series. Max Verstappen about to go quickest, but didn't. His final sector was a few tenths off the pace. Only 4th fastest in that Red Bull, and that's the situation with the
tadi
clouds.
mid.
There's
Oh,
rain building up
jamitnya.
around the circuit at the moment. Not much
Nice.
time in sprint qualifying
Gas.
for that to affect things.
Balik
but,
udah ngapain?
well, the teams will be watching those weather radars.
There's only
Hati-hati
one real
balkonnya
corner
nyan.
in that last sector. Junsao and I don't know if Max made a mistake there coming
Ini Vel.
to it.
Waduh, enggak
to the
bisa, Zak,
line.
nggak bisa, Zak.
So you see Colapinto's had his
Yeah.
time deleted.
Gak percaya lu.
Biarin aja.
Si Evan jangan dikasih bengkak terus anjing.
Iya ya gimana ini udah dari datangnya.
Maybe some front wing flap adjustments for him.
Gak expect gue Vel, sorry Vel.
Nggak apa-apa. Santai aja main nih. Nggak usah dilawan, Zak. Mundurin aja.
Aman.
Mati lo.
Between now and after the sprint where they come out of park
Nice,
maybe before the
anjing,
Grand
darah
Prix
lu sedep juga
qualifying.
tuh.
We're into the midfield section now. Through turn 9.
Simon St. John, Bottas, Stroll, Carlos Sainz, Joe, Colapinto. Anjing. Stroll, nggak heran gue.
Dive down, Magulio, the dive towards Junsao. This is the corner. You've got to get right because if you don't get a
Pada
good
tipis
exit
tadi ya, Zak?
here,
Pada balik
you're
ya?
Balik.
compromised for speed all the
Ayo,
way
Van.
to the line.
Piastri's benchmark is very strong,
Tipis
isn't it?
dong.
We're seeing now drivers trying multiple laps to try and catch him, but it's not really
Gelo,
happening.
lo kenceng banget Ferrari,
see
tumben.
Sainz 35A,
Ini kartu
he's a
ban.
10th up on Leclerc's
Yeah.
time, so Sainz could well end up on the front row, and if he had a very good final
Oke,
sector,
welcome guys yang
he
baru
would
join
get
guys,
Piastri.
yang di TikTok
Well,
maupun di
that's
YouTube.
fastest, he's now fourth fastest, Carlos Sainz with a
Waduh.
64.
Jadi
In the final
kita lagi watch
sector.
along
Max
sprint quali sambil Mobile Legend guys.
on his lap, which gets him 6th
Sabar,
fastest
sabar.
currently.
Lawson loh sama
The
PRS
race
liatin
engineer
dah.
celebrating, of course,
Betul.
with Carlos Sainz after a wonderful Grand Prix victory
Ayo,
in
gue bantuin.
Mexico City.
Mendengar
So
bawah
4
ini.
minutes to go. Cars back into the
Sama-
garages now.
Sama ketua Red Bull
Everyone's
aja
back in the
kalah,
garages,
Cok.
bar Verstappen, Sainz and Leclerc at the moment.
Wah anjing.
Yeah, we see that, Ted, I know you spotted
pakai rom lagi.
McLaren's new rear wing. One of the things that one of the other engineers said to me in between practice and the session was that they thought that rear wing
Vel, balik, Vel.
Buset, pedas banget anjing paninya.
Piastri's final sector through that DRS zone.
Anjing pedas
That's where
banget,
he's
Zak.
pulled the
Paninya,
time
Zak.
on the
Iya, Cok.
Ferraris.
Hilang darah
What do you
gua.
know?
Tuh, kalau gue lagi ke tengah jangan ini Cok, jangan maju-maju aja.
Nah, gue pakai second account anjing.
Yeah.
Akhirnya second account gue bisa nge-live, Cok.
Akhirnya.
Ih, GG, Evan.
Wih. Ya.
Oh, Drogovic. Yang belum cetak waktu siapa nih? Wah, anjir, Pak, ngantri gitu, Cok.
But the way this track is going, ramping up, the likes of Gasly, Alonso, even Stroll, and maybe even Bottas, I think could better a 111.5. So they're all going again. They're piling out of the pits now.
Kelas.
Yeah,
Same set of tyres.
Behrman's in the queue trying to get onto the track, and they're all trying to leave a gap before they get
Ini
onto the
seru
track. And there's a lot of cars still to come out here with 2 minutes and
Ayo,
45
kari,
seconds to go.
Wih,
Franco
pit stop
Colapinto,
macet,
who of
guys.
course in his other sprint qualifying
gila,
managed to
mendem
out-qualify
banget,
Alex
Cok.
Albon, which has not been a trait
Bakal hujan
that
sih.
the other Williams drivers
Vel.
have managed very
Belum ada
often
DHS lu.
in the last few seasons.
Oracle gue belum jadi Vel, tenang.
Albon, hasn't he? I think 4-2 on the scores, but actually on terms of lap time, there's only
Bennett.
Berarti Pak mid Pak.
between them.
Yeah.
So he's done a really good job so far. I think Albon did spin at the end of that lap, didn't he, in the sprint quali there? But yeah, Colapinto so far has been a bit of a revelation, has to be said. In this matter.
Kabar Dominus abis ini ya. Kabar ya.
A couple of races ago. Right, here comes Lewis Hamilton, no stranger to pole positions here at Interlagos, no stranger to laps. Take us
2 menit lagi.
2 minutes to go.
Aduh.
Yeah, up into
Yo guys, aduh.
he's on a set of used tires, because they only all get.
Apaan sih Fanny anjir?
Ferrari chose to stay out and keep doing the laps.
Hamilton di mana? Oh, 9.
Most others have gone in to top up the fuel and go back out again. So far for Hamilton,
Cakep kayaknya.
up in the first sector, but that's not really where the meat of this lap is. It's coming up here, the middle part of the lap. Verstappen as well, by the way, fastest of anyone in sector 1. The Alpine gets out of the way. Hamilton, really important to get the nose turned and rotated around these hairpins. You've got 3 hairpins and the rear stepped out of line there at the left-hander. So as he comes to Pico de Pato, the nose in. So he's got the rotation in there, but it was that left-hander where the rear stepped out of line. Second sector coming up, and that's costing.
Oh, dapat ini.
And again there.
Oh, potong balik.
The rear of the car not really with him, slightly wide of the apex, and we'll see in a few seconds where there's compromised his run to the line.
Sergio Perez fastest in the middle sector. Max Verstappen, his teammate, has gone second fastest. Hamilton only 8th fastest, but that should be good enough in his last sector.
Anjir, Perez kenceng sektor 2 nih.
Karun, not very impressive. Sergio Perez goes second fastest overall.
Ngamuk dia,
Cok. Ngamuk
Perez.
Iya, gara-gara kemarin. Verstappen apa kabar? Oh, 3.
Just a few days ago. Now Yuki Tsunoda finding himself a little further down in the trouble zone. He's safe currently, but is he going fast enough to give himself a bit of breathing space here as he crosses the line now? Was 14th, only 12th fastest for Yuki Tsunoda, and they're all improving behind him at the moment. That could put Yuki Tsunoda in a touch of trouble. Fernando Alonso is one of those improving. Aston Martin with a floor that they've gone back to. They first made its debut in Suzuka, and it seemed to do well for them in FP1 as Leclerc goes second fastest overall. Alonso to the line now to try and get out of the bottom 5, does, and moves ahead of Alex Albon and into 11th place. Ollie Behrman is improving, but is he improving enough? He's making his way now behind Lance Stroll towards the finish line. Stroll is very much at risk of being knocked out. He's only 15th fastest as Norris goes quickest in the first sector, and Behrman goes 5th fastest overall.
Wah, anjir, Behrman kenceng banget.
19-year-old Gasly lifts himself out of trouble and is 11th, puts Lance Stroll out of qualifying. Zhou Guanyu is also out. His teammate Valtteri Bottas currently on a lap as we now to Esteban Ocon, who only goes 5th.
Wah, Norris ungu.
Pushes Yuki
Anjir.
down into the bottom 5, and while we're looking at the relegation zone, Bottas lifts himself out.
Wih, mobilnya.
Norris, the man who was
Gila, rendah banget mobilnya. Anjir, gila, Cok. Wah, gak ada obat Norris, Cok. Asu.
Massive margin to the rest. Well done him. Now Franco Colapinto, top 10 last time around. His teammate Alex Albon has gone 3rd fastest. Can he get himself out of Q1? Yes, he does. 9th fastest, and that then pushes the most experienced driver on the grid down into the bottom 5, and Aston Martin looked impressive.
Anjir, gue kesian banget sama Alonso dah.
Colapinto, Behrman, Lawson, gila semua.
Gila. Udah berbahaya, Cok.
Adrian Newey
bakal seru sih, tahun depan bakal seru nih.
Iya lah.
Adrian Newey kapan
Colapinto tapi nggak main kan tahun depan.
Iya, makanya rookie-rookinya serem-serem, Cok.
To try and understand something about where they've gone and lost their way in terms of development, but both cars knocked out in FQ1. Yuki Tsunoda down at 18th. He was half a second, I think, to Liam Lawson. Yeah, even more, maybe 5.5 tenths. So it must have been a mistake for Tsunoda. But I tell you what, Lewis Hamilton only 13th. That just shows how much the track ramped up. Lando Norris, though, 7.5. This is one of the shortest laps on the calendar. We're used to seeing tight gaps. He's over 7 tenths ahead of the pack.
That's a hugely impressive lap, but still 2 more qualifying sessions to go, one of which is on the soft compound tyre. But for 5, Joe, Stroll, Tsunoda, Ocon, and Alonso, who hasn't finished higher than 15th.
Apa-apa ini kan ada Q2, Q3-nya kan yang penting.
Iya.
Kan masalahnya adalah dadakan. Iya, bener sih. Build-up-nya nggak ada.
ini kick juga bingung. Kapan sih ngumumin drivernya?
Sepimu berapa?
Total views 49.
Apa?
Total views 49.
49.
Heeh.
Aku udah 650 sih total views, tapi yang stay cuma 4 gitu-gitu.
Aku nggak ada yang stay nih, Abil tok nih satu nih.
Belum itu sih. Belum. Ntar lagi.
Biasanya tuh aku kayak 10 atau 15 menit sebelum udah nge-live. Jadi orang-orang udah main standby gitu.
Paling nanti ramenya di Q3 atau Q2 sih.
Halo guys, bentar aku nggak bisa baca komen guys. Komennya nggak muncul anjir. TikTok kenapa dah?
Pemanasan dulu gitu. 25 menit.
Lupa dari tadi Pak, dari tadi ini cok ISL cok. Gua nge-live TikTok, komen TikTok gak ada muncul anjir.
Enggak ke filter itu, ke filter.
Enggak muncul ini Pak, enggak muncul di ini. Start komen, history komen. Ntar abis ini gue resign guys, pindah ke ini deh, gue deh, live studio deh. Sementara sambil gue ini gue benerin entah apanya lah, koneksi lah atau apalah.
World Rally Championship only on BN Sports.
Cara live gimana mas? Gimana ya? Ya gitu, gimana ya? Bentar. Ntar guys, abis ini gue resim ini, gue lagi pusing anjir. Hampir menang cok, menangis tapi. Buset, sakit banget Fanny anjing. Wow, Alonso gitu banget.
Max Verstappen wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Ya cok, sambil pusing cok. Sabar ya. Itu ntar lagi kelar kok. Ikut mulai, ntar aja abis ini Watchalong gimana? Gas mulai sambil subaton.
Main lagi sih gua. Nggak terima gua babi.
Sambil subaton mulai gimana guys? Setuju nggak?
No.
Gas. TP epic gua kagak.
Iya.
Aman, gue GM anjir. Tenang aja. Lama gak main cok. Dah kita Watchalong dulu guys.
Gas deh.
Main lagi ya.
Ntar gue restream dulu ya guys ya, bentar ya. Sebentar ya. Gue restream dulu.
Auto install sambil nen.